All right, today I want to talk about this new Milwaukee cordless screwdriver that I've been using. I've been using this for a couple of months now, and I'm really impressed with it. And I want to compare this to a typical cordless screwdriver, and I just happen to have this Ryobi, so this is the one that I'm going to be using in my comparison. And that's going to be the topic of today's video, so let's get to it. Alright, so let's take a look at some of the features of each of these cordless screwdrivers. To start with, the Milwaukee has this clutch, and so you've got everything from setting of 2 to 14, and then you've got a drill mode. And it looks like that you can go in between these, so you've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then your drill mode. Okay, another feature is that you've got removable battery packs. So if you already have an M12 system, any of your M12 batteries will work with this. And you notice that you've also got this LED light, which is a line of sight LED light. You turn that on, and you can see exactly where you're working. Okay, you have this lock, this bit lock feature. So if I place a bit in there, it's not going to come out. You have this fuel gauge. I don't know if you can see it. When I turn it on, you can see how much battery is left. You just need to bump it and you can see. And like any cordless screwdriver, you have forward and reverse. And it's simple. You can do it, with one hand. Okay, so let's take a look at the Ryobi, and this has been a really good cordless screwdriver. This one does have the ability to switch places, so I can have a standard configuration or a pistol configuration. It does have a really long trigger, so I can use multiple fingers, which is nice. It does have 2 speeds. It has the low speed and then the higher speed, which is what I'm going to be using in this demo. And it has forward and reverse right here on the back. Okay, now one thing, this is either on or off. It does not have a variable speed. That's another feature that the Milwaukee has, is it does have variable speed control. So that's another nice feature. So you have variable speed in addition to the clutch. Okay, on the Ryobi, it has a proprietary charging system. So you have to plug this into the wall, and then you plug this, into the back here, and that's how you charge this. So when you run out of charge, with this screwdriver, and this is typical of almost every cordless screwdriver on the market. When you run out of battery, you have to take it over, plug it into the wall, and wait for this to charge back up. I've run into that several times myself with this Milwaukee. You run out of battery, you simply pop this one out, pop a new one in, and you keep running. All right, so let's see what kind of power that each one of these has. First thing I want to do is do some drilling. We already know that these are both going to work as an electric screwdriver. So let's see, what else it can do. So we'll drill through this piece of wood here. No problem for the Milwaukee. Okay, we'll give the Ryobi a try. No problem drilling it in, but you notice this does not have a locking mechanism, and most of your cordless screwdrivers are not going to have that feature. So trying to get this out is going to be a little bit tricky. So not with the Milwaukee. All right, so let's do something a little bit more challenging. Let's drill into this 4x4. So this is still pine, but it is a much thicker piece of wood. Okay, not a problem with the Milwaukee. Let's try this with the Ryobi. This does have a magnet, but it's not always very strong. It's able to go in, but I can't get it out. Okay, so let's see how much power these guys have. I've got these Simpson tie connectors here, and I'm going to drill these in to the holes that we just drilled out, or I'm going to drive these in. So we'll see how the Milwaukee does. No problem. I do have the clutch set on, so it didn't go below the surface. So let's give the Ryobi a try. Here's the other one here. Okay, can't quite go all the way in. So I'll use the Milwaukee. Well, the Ryobi should be able to get it out because it is threaded. See if I can get this one out. Yeah, so that's not a problem. Okay, so let's try something a little bit tougher. I've got a piece of hickory here. So let's drill a couple of holes in this hickory and see how we do. We'll start with the Milwaukee. Okay, it took a little bit longer, but it really didn't bog down. I mean, hickory is pretty tough. So we'll see how the Ryobi does. No, still the same old problem. Okay, but I gotta say, I'm impressed that this Ryobi was able to drill completely through this piece of hickory. All right, so let's see if we can put these Simpson tie connectors through the holes we just drilled. Oh, looks like I'm gonna have to adjust my clutch. I'll just put it on drill. Okay, all the way, no problem there. Let's see how we can do with the Ryobi. Yeah, not very good. Let's see if we can get that out of there. Yeah, get it out okay. Let's see if we can get this one out. No, not quite enough power to get that one out. And that, you know, that's what I would expect for a cordless screwdriver. Okay, now the real test is, can the Milwaukee drive, you know, this Simpson tie connector through this hickory without drilling a hole. I know the Ryobi's not going to be able to do it because it couldn't do it with a hole already drilled. So we'll see how the Milwaukee does. Oop. Yep. There we go. Pretty impressive. All right, so what are my conclusions? First, I just got to say that I'm actually pretty impressed with this Ryobi. It's really not supposed to be anything other than a cordless screwdriver, but I was able to drill through, you know, thin pine, thick pine, and even hickory. So I'm pretty surprised at how well this did. Even though it didn't have the power to drive these Simpson tie connectors all the way through, even the pine, but that's not something you would expect out of a cordless screwdriver. The Milwaukee, on the other hand, had no problems whatsoever going into probably the toughest lumber that I've got, this hickory, you know, as well as this really thick piece of 4x4 pine. So with all of the features, you know, that the Milwaukee has, you know, the clutch, the LED lights, the fuel gauge, being able to swap out batteries on the fly and keep going, this feature alone makes it worth, you know, the price that you pay for this. And, you know, this is a little bit more expensive, you know, than these typical cordless screwdrivers. You're probably going to pay, I don't know, 30, maybe 40% more. But for this feature alone, it's well worth it. It's still, the cost of this is still a lot lower than what you would pay for an actual drill driver or compact impact driver. So you're still going to be way ahead. And the fact that it uses the same batteries that you already have, if you're interested in the M12 line, chances are you've already got that set up. That makes it that much better. So, you know, this is a very capable tool. I'm impressed with it. I've used it for a long time. I've never had any issues with it, you know, other than, you know, what you would expect, you know, not being able to pull out and not be able to drive, you know, into some of these thicker, harder woods. But like I said, I've had this for a couple of months, and ever since I've had this tool, I haven't picked this one up once. So, you know, that should tell you everything you need to know. I highly recommend this Milwaukee cordless screwdriver. It's a 1/4 inch hex bit, and uses the standard M12 drivers. It actually has a metal housing as well. This is plastic, and that's typical with, you know, your cordless screwdrivers. So the build quality is that much better. So I purchased this off of Amazon. At the time that I purchased it, the price is actually lower on Amazon than it is at Big Orange. So I will leave a link for this in the description, and if you guys are interested, you can pick one of these up. So that's going to do it for this review. So I'll talk to you guys later.